Hello, Internet. This is the first episode ever of the ProduceCast. We are doing a episode 1, 2, 3 discussion of Produced 48.
Half of episode 3.
Half of episode 3, because it's kind of confusing. We're gonna try to keep it sectioned off as best as possible. So we'll only be talking up until I don't know, just the end of recording Nayana with episode 3. But you'll see. So,
Nekkoya.
Nekkoya. I'm still in season
wrong
2.
Season.
So, wrong season. This is Produce 48. Joining me first on the far left is Jacob Burrett.
Nice. Hello. I don't know how to do this right now. You're
saying his last name too, which is weird.
Oh yeah, it's like me. It's like me on the first episode.
Did you say our last names on the first episode?
Yeah, I did. And then you were like,
funny.
afterwards, you're like, why did you say our last name?
Where's my name? Hold on.
So side note, while Andrew's figuring that out, I totally realized that there might already be a ProduceCast, the podcast about fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, ProduceCast.
Did we look this up?
Oh no!
If there's a ProduceCast, that'd be hilarious.
It's all about growing gardens and stuff.
Yeah.
In the middle, we have Nathan Swisher.
Pick me up.
The unabashed, the original produce fanboy in
the self-proclaimed biggest IOI fan in the world.
The biggest IOI fan enough to buy a IOI fan stick for $1 billion.
No, right? Not what?
Well, no, I know. But it looks like you're like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No, this is a card light stick, but I'm using it to point to the IOI light stick behind me.
And I am Andrew Lee, even though the overlay doesn't say it. Whatever, I'll fix that later.
Fix it in post.
Yeah, I'll put it in post. Anyway. So, for those that aren't familiar with either Produce 101, or if you are coming from J-pop and AKB48, I just want to preface everything with we're mostly K-pop fans here on the show, with me sort of having some...
Being a giant weeb.
Hey, not as much. I wish I knew way more about... AKB48 and the rest of the groups before going into Produce 48, but we only know so much, so obviously keep that in mind when it comes to the opinions we end up giving. We're not as familiar with the J-pop system or the AKB system as maybe some more dedicated AKB fans are, so feel free to leave your comments on any information that might help us or that we might not necessarily know going into the show. Anyways.
Oh. Yeah, one other thing I wanted to elaborate on is K-pop is very different from J-pop nowadays, I guess.
Yeah, very different.
And that'd be why our, I guess, differences in what we're used to and what we expect out of idols might be different. Yeah. So I guess just keep that in mind as we go forward.
So yeah. I am glad that we get to cover this because being a J-pop fan or following people like Perfume and Kyori Pamyu Pamyu since 2013, I'm glad I finally get to incorporate some element of J-pop into the show. So let's get started. Produce 48 is obviously the third season of the Produce 101 series on Mnet. The typical sort of structure was there was 101 trainees from Korean music entertainment companies. They'd get whittled down to a group of 11. This time they're changing it around where it's about 50 something are Korean trainees, and
yeah,
it ended up being it was supposed to be about half and half. But
I was say it was supposed to be not because it's 96 total. It was supposed to be 48 of each.
Yeah,
but that didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen. Work out perfectly. But so it's a mix of Korean trainees and members of the AKB system. So AKB 48, SKE 48, HKT 48, etc., etc. The album of the final group, which will be 12 as opposed to 11 this time, will be a co-production between Akimoto Yasushi, who is the mastermind behind AKB48, and basically he invented the concept of just huge girl groups and the idols you can meet sort of thing, and Han Sung-soo, who is produced for I don't know, I think New West and all these. He did all the Pledis.
He did all the Pledis. He's Pledis' main producer.
Okay, so
yeah, he did New West. He did After School, Orange Caramel, 17, and Pristine.
So yeah,
I guess basically what I'd say is he's like the Teddy or like, I don't know, for SM like Kenzie or something, or JYP of Playtis, basically.
So there's going in, there's a lot of resources being thrown at it, which was surprising because I thought they just, initially hearing about this, I just thought they'd throw like the no-name people, like they just like, okay, we're not doing much here in Japan, so you can just go do this thing in Korea. But it seems like they're all in basically on trying to expand their reach out to Korea. So as always with the tradition of Produce, they always start off the first episode with just them writing their goals on like a wall or something, or like how like what practice means to them, and then it ends up like painting out to be the Produce 48 logo, which I'll start the slideshow now. And then obviously they do all the group intros, which is honestly the funniest part, just like seeing like the logos pop up. And last season they pulled a bunch of like nonsense where it was just like YG, and then they showed K+ after that.
Yeah,
and
they did that the same season.
They did the same thing again. It said former YG when they brought out like
everyone's like YG official.
Because the YG K+ girls, the YG K+ girls were like, we gotta like cover, or should we cover our company name? Like we feel embarrassed. But then it comes up with former.
Speaking of, I guess I'll just go like through some of like the entrances that I found were funny, and you guys can just sort of riff off on it. Yeah, starting with YGK+. It's funny how basically that's sort of just become an outlet for YG. It's like, we don't know what we're doing with these models, so let's just throw them on the
let's get them some random idol training, and hopefully they'll get popular enough that they can throw them in a group, or they'll make it or something.
One of them, I forget the name exactly. I can look it up right now. God, I forget which one it was, but I think it's Anya one. Her dad is like a famous chef in Korea or something.
Let me look it up. If I see her face, I'll remember.
I'm not sure. I'm not.
Yeah, he's a famous chef.
Like,
let me double check.
Do you know him or anything, or?
I think I've seen him on
like variety shows.
A variety show once.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I think it was Yeon.
Okay, so yeah, she's sort of just trying to get out of her father's shadow and everything. They're being models. They're super tall, and everyone's just commenting that like they would be like half their height and everything. Other people that got recognized is Stone Music Entertainment, which was every person that was from Stone Music was
Idol School, and particularly Jang Gyuri, who is an actual member of From His 9. Yep. So, yeah, she was a huge surprise to me that somebody from Us was coming out and Produce, because I'm like, a lot of people on the show actually had the same feeling. We're like, wow, you already debuted. Like, why do you need to come out on the show? You already
went, not alone debuted, but you went through this garbage idea of a survival show and won.
Yeah. And, I guess she felt like she still had something to prove.
I would say, her reasoning was she felt like she lacked the skills compared to the rest of From Us 9, so she was always having to practice a lot more. And so she kind of wanted to use this time to practice more and hone her skills. So that because From Us 9 is a true 7-year contract group. It's not one of these like 2-year, 1-year project groups.
That's actually why I like the idea of From Us 9, is that like they were all free agents to begin with, right?
You don't have to go
from there.
They
don't have to fight with
Iowa.
company. Yeah, they don't have to fight with company contracts, and they get to actually stay together.
Yep. If she doesn't make it, she can go back to From Us, and she'll be more trained, or she'll probably feel more confident. And if she does make it, she can still go back to them.
Like, regardless of whether or not she makes it into the final 12, she's going to be way more popular than she was going in. Like, I think that's a fact now, just because of how much screen time she's getting at this point.
It's the Produce effect. Basically.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of other people they were shocked at seeing when Pledis came out, they used the same like scary music that they used when US came out. Like, they'd always play whenever Dongho would come out, they'd use this like scary ass music or whatever.
Yeah.
But there was a bit of a hubbub when Khan came out, because like, my god, everyone recognized her from After School and everything. So And then
well, it's just like, even for me, like I was really surprised by that, because like after school is like a big second generation group.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
to have like a second generation veteran have to come out on Produce is kind of sucks, because like she joined the group and then they just stopped putting out music.
Yeah,
like it's literally like the worst situation you can be in. As
and that's the thing. Like they were a huge second generation group, but when she joined was when they basically just like fell out of like being popular. So she never really got to experience that. Like Flashback's one of my favorite songs by them, though.
And no, the crazy thing is
so
that for at least for the first evaluation, Kahi was a judge. So that was definitely that was some crazy stuff.
She's the member that replaced Kahi, though. So
yeah, because Kahi graduated
that well.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, there was one stage that they performed together. I saw it on like linked to the R48 subreddit. So
that's cool. Was it like a special stage where they brought everyone back? Or?
Yeah, maybe something like that. But that's the only thing I've ever heard of them showing up at the same time. And then when it was all these Korean companies, and then when AKB48 came out, all these people came out. Like they have easily the most members out of one group. It was pretty funny. And also this season they made the change where they have both names written in Hangul and in like katakana or kanji if you have it was appropriate, so that the Korean and Japanese trainees could communicate with each other. And obviously I think that's the interesting twist that was added to this season, where basically not everyone's going to be, it's going to be very hard for a lot of people to communicate with each other because they might not be fluent in both languages.
Although I don't know, maybe this is getting a little ahead of ourselves, but like later on, like seeing the Japanese and Korean trainees like interacting with each other, they were very like considerate of each other's languages and would try to learn enough to like, you know, teach each other and converse back and forth and be friends. And that actually turned out a lot better than I expected.
Yeah, I was saying that this season that aspect of it made this season feel like more heartwarming. Yeah, because like it's not as cutthroat.
Yeah, which I mean, because not having watched season 1 yet, I know, but was season 1 just like everyone kind of like played the game, so to speak?
No, not really. No, like they were all friends and stuff, but just the like I don't know, like season
more competitive.
It's not like season 1 they were all at each other's throats and everyone hated each other or anything, but you didn't have that aspect of like them having to work through a really complicated situation and like really helping each other, if that makes sense.
That'd be how you lose the whole show anyways. If
that's true.
Are being like that.
If you're exactly.
Korea hates that stuff.
You got to get the Sejong and Kang Daniel jump like
that kind
bump,
of thing.
Because like Sejong helped Sohei in like episode 2, and that's what pushed her to like be second the rest of the entire season. And then Daniel helped the little kid, I can't remember his name.
Oh my god, Eugene, from the Eastlight. Yeah, so from Eastlight. That's what before that Daniel wasn't doing as well. That skyrocketed him to number 1.
Yeah, exactly. Basically. It happens every season. The 2 seasons that exist.
Interestingly, this season, it took until the very last people to come on stage for anyone to take the number 1 seat. Because I know prior seasons they made such a big deal about it. In season 2, like they had like you could kick somebody out of the number 1 seat by like playing like rock paper scissors, or like doing like arm wrestling or something like that. Nothing like that happened.
I think it was because this year, like it like in past years, it was such a big deal that everyone was kind of scared. Like, oh, I don't know if I have the confidence to sit on the huge throne that they put there.
In China, it was kind of cool because for challenging, they actually performed. They had to do like on the spot performances, and the trainers picked which one won.
Oh man, cool. That's actually really cool. Whenever I get to China,
it's kind of funny because the one who actually sat on the number 1 spot, she ended up being classed in like D.
Yeah, she wasn't very good.
It was so we mentioned the former YG nonsense, which included Jinny Park, aka the 5th member of Blackpink, so to speak.
Well, one of the members of Pink Punk, because there's also Miyeon from G Idol as well.
Yeah, so she former YG trainee who is now a free agent that decided to join Produce 101. they made a big deal out of it, but for whatever reason they didn't. After that, they haven't seen much screen time whatsoever. So we'll get to that later. After the intros, they get to the evaluations. The trainers for this season are Lee Hong-gi from FT Island, who is. I love him so much because he's the most fluent out of all of the judges
he's
in
actually
Japanese.
Fluent in Japanese.
Well, because FT Island releases like way more music in Japan than they do in Korea.
FT Island's huge in Japan because J-Rock and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think he might be my favorite of the trainers.
Yeah, I agree because he's actually able to like communicate well with all of the trainees.
Exactly.
Be helpful.
Soyu is the other vocal trainer. Choi Young-jin is a dance trainer. Bae Yoo-jung, the most famous, I think the most famous trainer in all of Produce at this point, basically, just because she's
brutal.
she had the line. She said the line in season 1. Do you want to be a singer? And then there's kind of a line like that later on, but she's definitely
didn't IOI make fun of that at one point? Like they're just horsing around.
Well, she said it to Sohei, so that's why.
Okay, because I remember like for some reason I feel like I've seen a clip of Somi saying it, but in English, like, "Do you want to be a singer?"
Mei Jae Lee of 1 Million is the other dance trainer. That's an excellent pickup. I love her choreography, and I mean she's worked with Twice and all these other girl groups. So that's like the choreography for this group is going to be amazing. Cheetah's coming back as the rap trainer. I thought there's no other rap trainer, unfortunately. No Don Mills or anything.
No Don Mills.
I mean,
I like Cheetah though. I think she does a good job. And there's not very many rappers.
I was gonna say that's the same as first season, but this season there's like 2 rappers. There's like literally no one.
Because I mean, remember, like they're like about almost half of it's Japanese trainees, and they don't rap. In J-pop
they don't rap
often,
exactly.
So,
that's why. Because season 1, there were actually a lot.
Yeah, well, in season 1 they had like Jun So-yeon and
you had So-yeon, you had Reina.
Oh
from
yeah,
Christine,
Reina.
You had Yoo-jung.
Na-young.
There were.
Is she not really rapped during the show?
No, Na-young rapped too. There's like a whole group of trainees that just did hip hop stuff. Like there was a lot of rappers in season 1. This season there's like none.
Yeah, which is interesting. All right, now getting to the evaluations, I'll just go in order of like how the ones I found interesting. If there's any others that I failed to mention at the end, or just chime in. So Ueha, or however you pronounce it, the Chinese company that's Ueha, the one that's in charge of the Chinese members of Uju Sonyo. So it's interesting. They're both here. It's funny they're here and they're in China. So
these are actual Korean
trainees. Yeah.
So, well, I don't think Wang Yiden is Korean.
Wang Yiden, no, she's not Korean. She's definitely Chinese, and she's kind of she's another Chewy lookalike. I think one of the trainers mentioned that she. And also
I guess I don't know. I never see it, but
and then there's another part where she's doing like crazy like acrobatics. So she's basically like Chang Shao and Sui like combined. So it's from Yuha. They all did good. They all did really good. Their performance. The one I think stood out the most was Choi Yena, just because she's really funny. Like her like individual talent was, I think she was like pretending to like shake like a ball of soda, and then she made like a pop sound.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Kim Shi-hun is a former individual trainee from season 1 coming back for this season, which was very interesting.
Oh, she got signed by Ueha. I can't say it, but
did you remember her from season 1, Nate, or not too much?
No, when she said it, like I recognized her, but like beforehand, I didn't recognize the name or anything. But yeah, season 1 she got an F, and this season she got a B, so she was really happy with that.
Yeah, it's awesome to see the development she made. Speaking of people that were on former shows, WM Entertainment had former 16 and K-pop star contestant Lee Chaeyeon, whose older sister how do you pronounce her older sister's name?
Chaeyeon, and it's her younger sister. Yeah, she's the older sister.
Yeah.
I think it's Ryung.
It's
like NG.
Yeah,
I think it's so confusing because there's 3 people.
There was
like
Chaeyeon,
Chaeyoung,
and then Chaeyeong. It is Chaeyeong.
That must have been a nightmare for during 16.
Yeah,
but
Chaeyeong is the younger one.
Okay,
and she stayed at JYP.
And so Chaeyeon left for WM Entertainment.
Because, yeah, she's 2001.
So one slight tangent. I'm looking at the YGK Plus again. Mm-hmm. There's Chae Yunsu. I don't know if this is I think this is a typo on the website. It's spelled Y-E-I-N.
Yeah.
Instead of Y-E-O-N.
The website's so weird.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that is not Korean. At first.
Chaeyeon left JYP after 16, joined WM Entertainment, and oh my god, she's amazing at dance. Because there was a part where they asked her to do just like a random freestyle like dance song, and she did incredible. Though,
I think, honestly, it probably made a lot of difference being in a different company from her sister, so that they're not always compared all the time, and she doesn't have to feel like, oh, my sister's better than me, I should be better, or anything like that. Like,
which is what she felt in 16.
Oh. Yeah. And sort of the consensus right now, though, is that everyone feels like she might be this season's,
Samuel?
Everyone thinks she might be the Samuel of this
season.
Like,
everyone thinks she'll be in the group, and then she's not.
Because,
because people forget, because they think she's a shoo-in.
Yeah, everyone thinks she's a shoo-in, but she kind of, like, she's not... She's, like, popular for her talent, but she's not really getting shown for her personality, which is a huge component of Produce.
Yeah,
because, like, it's not a talent competition, it's a popularity contest, ultimately.
Yep, at the end of the day, yeah. Because, like, there's, we haven't gotten to her yet, but there's, like, Yamada Noe. Like, she's not the most talented, but she's really, really charismatic. Oh. So she's very popular.
Yeah. Another person I have to mention is somebody I affectionately know as Llama Girl, Urban Works, Kim Minju, who also looks like Chewy.
She looks like Chewy with way bigger eyes, basically.
Yeah, here, I'll pull up the trainee profile for her, but... God, she's 2001. That's crazy. Just how young she is. But
no, everyone on the show is so young. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So the reason why she's called.
I was gonna say, is there somebody? Yeah, there's somebody from like AKB who's born in like 2003.
Yeah.
Well, no, one of the 2004 is
the Sohei lookalike Chiba 80. She's born in 2003.
Oh, I love Chiba 80. Yeah. She speaks in third person.
Jangwo Young.
Don't babies do that in Korean and Japanese?
Oh, I mean, I think that's like a character.
Yeah, they
trait.
do because when you refer to other people, you don't say you. You use their name. Yeah. So they don't use I. They just use their own name to refer to themselves.
Yeah, but I mean that's like a kawaii anime like character trait sort of thing. Yeah. So
but Jangwon Young from Starship's 2004. She's the youngest.
Yeah. So yeah, with Kim Minju, she
giant baby.
She's. Minju is known as Llama Girl because, or at least I know her as Llama Girl because in episode 0 they asked her to do her individual talent and she's like, I can impersonate a llama, and then she just did it so well. And like they're like, oh, can you impersonate a llama doing like waking up? Can you impersonate a llama like singing or something like that? So she's so adorable, and she didn't do that well in her evaluation performance. She did No Matter What by Boa and Benzino, but she ended up getting a D. Unfortunately, but she ranked like 13, like in the first episode. So I mean, again, I think that's kind of she's a visual, like easily. Yeah. She's good. She's a visual. So I mean, there might be a hope for her. But yeah, she's the one I'm rooting for the most because I know I don't know if she's a lock for making the group. Trainee, I was disappointed in Han Cho-won from Cube Entertainment. Okay, so like for those that don't know, Cube has
she was
Pentagon.
Really
she was. I thought she was gonna be good, like hip hop or something.
Like you have Hyuna, who's a lot of people's idols. Like basically Cube, their name is like built on just like a lot of good like dance and like hip hop and sort of thing. She was horrible. She was so bad.
I think. Well, she's only like 14, I believe. So I think. Yeah, let me check, actually.
He's 2002, so yeah.
Okay, so she's like 16. So, yeah, I feel like she might be a newer trainee. Yeah, she's been almost 2 years, actually. 2 years,
yeah. And she has no excuse.
The point, like...
I don't know what's happening with her. I was going to give her a benefit of the doubt.
I forget which song. She did a Hyuna song, and then there's like a really like awkward part of her, like of like the video that they showed.
She's twerking.
She's trying to twerk, and I'm just like, oh no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And the point they made was
she did red. Yeah, she did red.
Yeah, she did red. So the point they made was that, at this point, like Sunho and Lee Guan-lin, like when they came into Produce 101, like season 2, like they were also like trick trainees. They were very inexperienced, but they showed something that they know. Like they showed the basics. Is what they called
the basic stuff.
Yeah, and for her to like, I'd be embarrassed if I was Cube to be able to send a trainee like that.
I just remember I remember the instructors. They were like dumbfounded because.
Well, yeah, they straight up asked her. They're like, when was the last time you did the basics? And she's like, I don't know, like a year ago or whatever. Like, that's something you got to do constantly.
Yeah, so it's embarrassing to see like how far the Cube trainees have fallen, considering Lee Guan-lin made it into the final group, and he progressed so much despite not knowing anything basically. He didn't know how to sing, or he didn't know how to rap, or like he learned all of that while in Produce. So
Jacob, you're incredibly dark for some reason.
I was looking at Discord. Okay. And Nate, you're gonna be upset when you look at it.
Yeah, and then in season 1 you had Soyeon and Eunbin, who are now in CLC, and G-Idol, who both made it to the final episode.
Wait, Eunbin and who?
Soyeon.
John Soyeon.
Oh, Soyeon, duh. I was like, who from G-Idol was in Produce 101, even though I literally mentioned her earlier.
Literally mentioned her like 10 minutes ago.
So getting to the AKB48 performances. So how they did, obviously AKB48 had a bunch of members. They all obviously didn't all perform in one group, so they performed in their own individual like groups, or some people performed on their own, like Sakura did or Jurina did, which we'll get to later. And oh man, the trainers went in on them basically. Like they basically are just like, how have you been promoting for like 5 years or whatever if you don't know anything? And oh man, like some of them started to cry, and sort of how they explained how they explained it is that in Japan they're not necessarily focusing on technical skill or singing ability. They're focusing on having, or like building a fan base and making sure their fans have a good time, not necessarily not necessarily being like the most talented or whatever. So yeah, it was, they were talking about like how it's a cultural difference basically between the two countries that sort of explains the, like, I guess the lack of
skill.
Talent. Yeah.
Well, it's not a lack of talent. I think it's a lack of skill, and that's a important distinction to make. Because like there are clearly like some of the girls, like after receiving like formal training, they immediately became way better.
Yeah.
Like I think it was Takahashi Juri who went from F to A, and then there was like Honda Hitomi. Yeah, she was really good at dancing. Yeah. She was really good at picking up dances. There was Yabuki Nako, though I believe she was already pretty popular to begin with, but still
and the good thing is that I feel like this is just a general thing, not necessarily just because it's Produce 48 or the AKB48 members or the system members. Getting placed in F is never a death sentence. If anything, you get a lot of training in F, and you get a lot of screen time in F. Like, yeah, that's the thing. It's Produce 48 or Produce operates on an interesting bell curve where A and F get a lot of attention, but if you're in C and D, you kind of just get ignored. Like you want to be on one extreme or the other.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly. Yeah, they say that a lot this season. Like, F, the ranking is for what level of training you need and like the type of classes you need. Yeah. Not like, I mean, it is your skill level, but it's not as like you're garbage and we're gonna forget about you because you're an F. It's like you need this type of training.
It's mostly to put you amongst other trainees who are of similar skill to you, so that you can learn together.
And exactly. I mean, I don't know if it's just this season or like, I mean, any season or even last season, but I love like the F trainees, like they showed a lot of like, they showed a lot of heart. They practiced hard and everything. And I mean, some of them still ended up in F, but I mean, at least they tried.
A lot of I saw that a lot in the C trainees as well. Cause like you'd think the C being in the middle, they'd be kind of like, because they're like, we're pretty high, but we're not that good either. So they're like, like they're not worrying so much, but they also are like, I guess, insecure about their skill at the same time. However, I didn't see that. I didn't see that in this. I think C, I was actually surprised because I expected what I just said, but they they seem to be picking up the choreography and stuff like that pretty well. So yeah.
Now getting to NGT48 and Yamada Noe. aka Japanese Jui, who's just like the really loud and obnoxious
super extra.
Yeah, girl with a husky voice, as she calls it. So
she basically forever lost her voice.
Yeah, she's just like fucking around outside in the snow and everything.
Yeah, she's like, I was 5 years old and I got a cold, and then my voice never changed after that. It's like, well, that's really depressing, actually.
Yeah. But no, she's adorable, and they performed G, I believe.
Yeah, they did the Japanese version.
Yeah, so it was her and Hasegawa Arena. So I'm glad that they're able to show their personalities. Because again, the nice thing about this is that a lot of the members, besides the big names like Jodina and Sakura and like Shiroma Miru, like all these like super big names that get voted to like Senbatsu and like are on singles a lot. A lot of the lower or like a lot of the people that don't get a lot of screen time are going to get super popular here in Korea, and they're like, oh, maybe that'll like they can take that back home. So it's nice that like it's a nice opportunity for a lot of the AKB members.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if after this
they make a Japanese show.
Well, no. What I meant was like AKB48's company looks into recruiting Korean trainees to make their own.
I was gonna say I was thinking the exact same thing. SOL, like that. I was thinking the exact same thing.
That would be a bad name, like shit out of luck.
But SOL 48's been the rumored name, like even before Produce 48, even before they even had like the performance at Mama in 2017. Like it's been long rumored that like AKB has been trying to enter the Korean market. Because it's the most lucrative one right now in Asian music or in world music at least. So yeah, it would not surprise me. I mean, there are some Japanese trainees that go to the foreign, like we were talking about TPE 48, which might be closing down, but there's Japanese members there. Yeah. Like they'll try to seed like the Japanese members as much as possible.
Yeah,
just so they'll help,
that way you still get support from the homeland.
Yeah, definitely. And also, if they might not have a spot in one of the other like big groups, so it gives them a chance to shine.
Although I this is just other speculation, I guess. But if they want that to be successful, if that's not the name for the Produce 48 one, they gotta take like some of their best like trainees they can find from Japan.
Yeah.
Because like as we're seeing in this, like Korea really expects a lot from their their idols as far as like skill and dance and singing.
Yep.
Next, it was whenever two groups or two performances had the same song, they try to put it back to back. So you had on one side you had How Entertainment, and you had on the other side AKB48's Takeuchi Miyo Gotomoe and Iwatate Saho. They both did, I forget the Japanese name of it, but it's in Korean it's Celeb 5.
Celeb 5 is the name of the it's the name of the group, but it might be the name of the song too.
I think it's the name of the song too.
Okay.
So yeah, there was because it was. For those that don't know,
that song.
Was that crazy like trot song? Or
yeah.
See, it was originally a Japanese song. And then they sort of
from the 80s.
Yeah, and then it sort of got turned into like a comedy like routine for with like a similar group to how they did it like in Korea. So yeah, they just translated the lyrics. So their approaches were different. So How Entertainment was Wangke. Oh God, Keo. I forgot how to pronounce her name. Wangke, Kim Min-so, and Yoo Min-young. So they did the Korean version, the most popular one. And they were talking about it like afterwards. It's like it was such a like they knew their strategy going in. Basically, they were trying to win over the judges with their song choice,
their expressions, and
definitely
because their dance skills aren't that great.
Didn't they get put in like A and B?
Yeah, and one of them
dropped hardcore.
Yeah, Yoo Min-young dropped out of A despite, or they were like, "Oh, you did so well. What happened?" and everything. Yeah, they all did pretty well. And then with the AKB48 performance of Miyu, Moe, and Saho, they did a really nice jazz style performance of it.
And that
one
Miyu
problem.
range.
Like the performance was great, but the trainers notice is like, oh, why didn't Gotomoe sing? And then she speaks up and she has no voice. She has no voice because of like pollen allergy. And for those that haven't been I haven't been there, but for those that don't know about like Japan and Korea, like pollen allergies are like we're crazy there. There's just so many, like that's a serious like there's a reason why they I mean it's for fashion now, but a lot of people wear the face masks because like they have like like hay fever, like allergies.
Is it that Eastern Asian people are more susceptible to pollen, or is it that the pollen is more potent there?
I think it's just like the specific types of trees that they have over there just released so much pollen during.
So much. Okay.
Yeah, that's why it carries over. Like
it was pretty ridiculous when
I used to get runny nose and stuff when I was a kid from pollen, but I don't anymore. So I wonder if that'll happen when I go to Korea.
When we go to Korea next year, I basically have to wear a face mask 24/7 all day or in the morning basically.
Well, because it's gonna be April, so it won't be too bad.
No, but usually that's April is when...
It'll be the spring, though.
That's spring. That's when pollen comes out.
That's exactly when it's coming out.
That's pollen season. I am fucked. So
I don't know what I'm talking
usually, because I wear it now because pollen's still pretty bad in my area, so it releases from anywhere from like 6 in the morning to about like 1, so I really only have to wear... You really only have to wear it like during the day or like your morning commute, so to speak. So... Yeah, it sucks that she lost her voice, and she was only able to do the dance moves and wasn't able to sing at all. So, Mio got an A, Iwatate Saho got a B, but Moe, because she wasn't able to sing, got an F. And I felt so bad. I mean, Ihongi said she like shogunai, like it can't, which means it's an expression in Japanese, like it can't be helped. Like you can only do so much. So I mean, it's nice to see.
Well, luckily for her though, like as soon as they started the F training, she was singing way better than everyone else.
Yeah. They knew when they gave her F, like she's gonna get reevaluated at way higher. Like, but it just wasn't fair to give her a good ranking when she didn't sing at all. Like, it wasn't fair to the other trainees.
Yeah, I mean, like, they were more understanding because of, like, it happens. And, I mean, she couldn't help it, so... And I'm definitely glad that she got to show more of her singing talents later on. Next is Pledis, which is Kaan and the actual trainee, Ho Yun-jin, who, like, they're both super tall.
Pledis is always tall.
Yeah.
Look at Na-young.
When they walked in on season 1, it was just like 8 of her because it was almost all pristine. They're all just like way taller than everyone else.
I mean, Kan's obviously like a lock. Like if you've seen the Nekkoya performance, she's up there with Sakura as like basically the Korean center. Also, she's way fluent in Japanese. Like,
Kan, that's probably because of after school. I'd imagine.
After school is pretty popular in Japan. So she like that makes her like she has to be in this group. Basically, if she's not in this group, that will be a travesty.
I will be extremely angry if she's not in this group.
Yeah, because she's the most qualified one. I mean, though
she's basically like the newest of this season.
She has to make it in at this point. But the funny thing is that it's funny how there could potentially be somebody that was born in 94 and there could be somebody that was born in 2003.
Yeah.
In this final group.
9 years apart.
Oh,
that's
my
crazy.
God. So she was, Colin was talking about like how they hadn't released an album since 2013 and basically
it's ridiculous.
She had no idea what she was doing, and she was sort of inspired by seeing the 4 newest members that went on last season go.
Well, and Pristine.
And Pristine, obviously. Yeah. I mean, again, it's an awkward situation where basically all her like the younger groups that debuted after her were getting way more material than she was.
Yeah. She saw a bunch of trainees from her company go on to the season 1 and just become huge and form a group that did really well.
Honestly, I don't get why Pledis didn't just like debut her as a solo. Like she would honestly, I think Kaan would be really good as like a girl crusher, maybe even a sexy concept. And I mean, I think she would do very good with that.
I hope she gets in. I hope she's like very close to the top because I feel like she's what they should model the final group after because she's. I mean, she fits the cute concept very well, but I want a more mature. I don't necessarily want another IOI, and I'm sure you could agree with that. I mean, actually, no, you want another IOI probably.
No, because that will literally can't
too many
happen.
Group. They'll bang out him.
That literally nothing will ever be IOI again.
Yeah, so I think they can't. I don't think they should go down the same road necessarily in terms of concept. So I feel like she's sort of like the model that they should base everyone after.
Yeah, although I feel like they're kind of pigeonholed into it with the Japanese trainees.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. It's not really a sexy. They don't do sexy concept at least in the same
cute
way.
Concepts
well, I mean,
in their underwear.
Hey, no, they did Teacher. Like their most recent single, Teacher, was fairly
girl crush.
Yeah, it's a girl. It's basically a girl crush.
I watched
that. I would not be surprised if they were. They're just trying to train them into like, okay, this is what Korean music is more like. So, speaking of, getting back to their performance, they did the song. They did the song that everyone was going to predict that somebody was going to do at some point. Havana by Camila Cabello.
Yep.
And I mean, they did.
Well, Yunjin's American, so.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, at least she's either American or Canadian because she speaks American English. So.
Yeah, I didn't notice that actually her singing was like very, very natural, or like it didn't have necessarily an accent. So
yeah,
Khan got an A, Yujin got a C. So this is the end of episode 1. So after this, the rankings were as follows.
Oh boy.
Well, I'll just do top 12 basically. Week 1, it was at the 12th spot. It was Kojima Mako from AKB48. 11 is Wang Yiden from.
You skipped.
No, I'm not. I'm doing it, and then I'll get to the rest because remember the evaluations go into episode 2.
No, but wasn't Woolim episode 1?
Yeah, I did.
You skipped Eunbi.
I
skipped Mom.
I didn't remember.
Mom.
I didn't remember really anything from her, so I guess Nate, you can talk about that.
She was the mom at Woolim trainees. Remember?
Oh
she
yeah,
had, brought snacks for them and a Japanese
really
language book.
Another interesting thing before I get into rankings, there was a lot of first-time Korean companies like Banana Culture sent, I believe WM. Is this the first time they've sent trainees? I don't think they sent anything before. I know Woolim hasn't sent anything before either. So.
This is the first time, yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting that they're finally bringing them on. Anything else from episode 1 that you remembered?
I mean, it makes sense to me that they're coming out now because
Starship was episode 2, right?
Starship was season. Huh? Starship did.
Honestly,
I forget. I don't know.
When did Eugene perform? No, I'm saying episode 2. When did Starship perform? Or did you not write notes on Eugene?
Oh, I definitely did. I definitely
so it must be episode 2 then.
Yeah, somewhere after that. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyways, what I was saying was I'm not surprised that a lot of these companies are coming on because after season 1 and season 2, Produce is definitely a proven concept at this point. So. Yeah.
Okay, so top 12 rankings. Number 12 was Kojima Mako from AKB48. Number 11, Wang Yiden from Weha. 10, Jo Yuri from Stone Music. That's number 9, Chidoma Miura from NMB48. She's a very popular AKB member. I think she's she did high in Senbatsu. Number 8, Isian from Stone Music. Number 7, Choyena from Weha. I feel like episode 1 rankings are always deceptive because it's always the people that show up first that get the most votes.
Yeah.
So
it's nobody knows anyone, so it's all the people that they get showed the most.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
Number 6, Jung Giri from His 9 in Stone Music. Number 5, Ikaon from Pledis / formerly of After School. Apparently,
technically still After School.
She said they didn't disband. I mean,
but they are.
That was a funny thing.
Unless she wants to make a solo debut called After School.
Cheetah was grilling her. It's why aren't you making music?
After School? It should be after school.
Number 4, Matsui Jurina from SKE48, who is one of my most popular. We'll get to her later when we go over performance. Number 3, Jang Won-young from Starship. Number 2, An Yu-jin from Starship.
Woo!
And number 1, Miyawaki Sakura from HKT48. Obviously, Sakura is going to be the number 1 because it was the center of the Nekkoya video. So, yeah, obviously these are way early rankings. So, getting episode 2, they continued with the evaluations. First one I'll go over is MNH is Lee Ha-eun, who is
Baby Chang'a.
Yeah, it's so funny how young she is, but she dances just like Chang'a.
Yeah, no, it's literally the exact same style. You could tell that they're the exact same trainers, dance trainers, because it was insane.
And she's kind of the opposite, where Chang'a's very girly and all the she's very good with makeup and everything. Ihan just she doesn't wear any eyeshadow or eyeliner or anything.
Tomboyish.
Yeah, or no, she's just very. She's
also 2004.
Yeah, she's very young.
Yeah, so
she's
14. She works well with a natural look, being so young. Yeah, and she obviously got an A rank. So did Chang'a get an A rank the first time around?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Chang'a was the best dancer in season audition, 1.
I've seen her audition. It's actually insane.
Yeah, it's insane. And then she choreographed like Bang Bang, which is like the most legendary stage from season 1.
I would not be surprised if Han does choreography for whenever they get to the like later missions. Next, Jurina from SKE48. She finished first in the 2018 Senbatsu election. We'll get to more news about her afterwards.
Are we just gonna go into it right now?
No, we'll get to that later. We won't spoil it. So she performed a SKE48 song, Dear Jay. We'll get to Sakura later, but I feel like she did better than Sakura. Putting that out.
Jurina did.
Yeah, I thought she would.
Yeah, I thought she did too, but I was like, okay.
I agree, but I think they both. So like, spoilers for Sakura's a little bit, but like, I think they both deserve to be.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think Jurina deserved an A, but Sakura definitely didn't deserve an A.
I think Jordina deserved an A because like the one thing she had over Sakura is because Jordina had way more stage presence than
charisma.
She had way more charisma than Sakura did, and her vocals were way more stable than Sakura's were. Sorry, but and that's to be expected. She's been in SKE and AKB48 since like 10 years ago. She's been in like 20 plus. She's been the center in 20 plus singles. Only now is she voted like first in Senbatsu, but like she's so experienced. So like she's known as like the rough one. She'll yell at like other members basically like to get their shit together because she cares that much about the group. So it's kind of weird how they're sort of, I guess they're appointing Sakura as the leader of the group in this way when it's basically everyone looks up to Jordina, I believe. Well, everyone looks up to both of them, but it sort of seems like Jordina is like the patriarch of the AKB or AKB system.
Matriarch.
Yeah, matriarch of the AKB system on this show.
Patriarch.
NMB 48 trainee. Yeah, she is the father. God, she has an intense look. Like she she's pretty scary.
Like seriously, if I ever met her, I would be extremely intimidated.
Even
though she's like the same, the same age as me, but she seems like
it's the eyes.
No, it's her smile. She shows too many teeth. Never trust people that show that many teeth when
she has like a murderous smile. Like
she does. It's terrifying. It's a Joker smile.
But no, like I showed you that clip of her on like AK Bingo or whatever when she's just like it's her like sumo wrestling somebody else. She's insane. Like she's super competitive.
Are you talking about the clip where she literally just kisses that girl straight up?
That's a normal thing apparently with AKB. I don't know.
No, I wonder why. Go watch Heavy Rotation's music video and then you'll see why.
And then the reason why I love her is because she's like a super like she loves pro wrestling. Like she's a super nerd when it comes to pro wrestling. She loves specifically the Bullet Club and the Elite, which is like one of the most popular stables. And she even like I think one of the wrestlers, Kenny Omega, who's the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He was honest because like he's a huge gamer. He's like friends with Austin Creed. So he on his Twitch channel he was like getting people to vote for Jordina in the Senbatsu election. So like that's how much popularity she gained. Anyway, going on. NMB48 do you remember this performance that they had? The only one I remember was Shiro Mamiru, but like they had crazy like oversized coats and like the song was called like Warata, which means laughing, and like the dance moves were so funny. Like again, I'm glad that a lot of even though the Japanese like songs were so different, like nobody was just like making fun, like nobody was making fun of it or like it's very interesting, like the sort of like
they still took it seriously.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm glad that they sort of like a lot of the Korean trainees were enjoying, especially this performance, just because like the dance moves were so like energetic and everything, and I feel like this performance was the one that defined like AKB the most, because again, I was mentioning before, it's not necessarily technical skill, it's just like hype and like energy and just like trying to get the crowd and like the fans like into the song,
having fun.
Yeah, definitely. And there's nothing wrong with either take on it, honestly. I mean, not everyone. I mean, even in K-pop, not everyone has to be like a technical master.
I think the way to do it is probably a happy medium between the two of them, where like you have the dancing skill and the powerful singing and stuff like that, but you also are visibly, having fun with it. And like, because there's a lot of them where they do like girl crush concepts, but they're very very serious looking.
Yeah, like robotic.
Yeah. Whereas like AKB48, everything is very, very fun and exciting and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, that's the one advantage the AKB system girls will have over the Korean trainees is that stage experience. There's only one way to get that. It's by actually going on stage and not just practicing in front of a mirror. Next, Stone Music Entertainment, again, Idol School. Yeah, they did surprisingly well. I mean, Jo Yuri got an A, but I felt bad. Gyuri only got a B. And I mean, afterwards she ended up an F too. So
it's fine. Jo Yuri fell
she fell to F. I mean, spoilers. That's the first time that anyone went from A to F, which was shocking. I mean, I don't know. I can understand why, because she, in her practice video, she stopped, and like that's the one thing you cannot do. You can sing bad. You can can mess up you can't stop. That's like because you can't do that on stage. You can't do that.
I mean, that's like the number one rule of performing any music. Like I remember I was in band in like 5th grade, and that's like one of the first things they told us.
Don't stop.
Never stop. Yeah,
because they'll know they'll know you made a mistake if you stop. They won't know if you made a mistake if you just keep like trying to play it off or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Now we get to Takahashi Juri and Kojima Mako and Muto Tomu. They did an amazing performance of Playing with Fire in Japanese, and she's the Korea boo. Or Nate.
Yeah, Juri was the K-pop fangirl.
Yeah, which is pretty. Speaking of K-pop fangirls, the limited knowledge of AKB system I have, there was a surprising omission from the group or on the Japanese trainees. Yamamoto Saika, who's my favorite member of NMB48 and like the entire group. Apparently she like studied like Korean and like she's big into K-pop. But apparently they didn't include her, or she didn't end up going for Produce 48, which is an interesting thing because I mean, if she already knows a lot of like K-pop going into it, it kind of seemed like a no-brainer to just bring more experienced trainees. But I don't know. Actually, maybe because everyone's sort of speculating that she's on her way out of, or she's gonna graduate soon. So because she's actually super talented. Like very rarely do AKB members get, or anyone in the system gets solo albums. She has 2 solo albums, so she's actually she knows how to play guitar and like she knows how to sing very well, so that's why she's ranked very high. So it's just an interesting omission. Eagle Eye Girl Kim Choyeon from A-Team Entertainment.
Yeah, she was her look was very intense for me at first. I was like, I don't know about this.
Well, and she just looked like Kyo Kyung to me.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
for me it was just the eyes.
I think we skipped over
intense.
in episode 1, but there's a Sohei lookalike. Yeah, that looks literally exactly like Sohei, but she can actually dance, which was funny. And there's a Kyo Kyung lookalike. There's a couple Chewy lookalikes. It's like
it's interesting to see how many
lookalike.
There was a Yujong lookalike. Choyeon and Go Yujin from Blockberry Entertainment they both performed Lip and Hip, so they put them on at the same time, which is definitely they felt the pressure. Go Yujin unfortunately didn't do as well, so she got in C. But again, for those that don't know, Blockberry Entertainment, the company behind Luna, and she may, who knows, after this, if she ends up being really popular, who knows, they might add her, they might be OT13. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if they
it would be post debut, but
post debut obviously, because this show ends by the time Luna debuts. But I guess she was just one of I mean, they clearly see something in her to throw her onto Produce 48. So because there were a lot of people that auditioned for the Luna tryouts. So again, we'll see what happens with her. But Choyeon was amazing in terms of dance. So I feel like she's another popular one, but I don't know how well she's doing in terms of rankings. Like, I can check it right now, but
I think she's doing decent.
68 episode 1, 75 episode 2, 37 episode 3. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just
which trainee?
Kim Choyeon. Yeah. Eagle Eyes.
Yeah. I was looking at it earlier. I was actually really surprised.
So
studying too much Korean.
Yeah. And last but not least, we got the Sakura again. We kind of mentioned her before, where they left her performance for last, and she was one of the few Japanese trainees that got initial A rankings, but like, we kind of already talked about it. Interestingly enough, Bae-yoon Jung was the one that was pushing for her A rank. You'd think that her being the strictest judge, she'd be like,
Sakura?
oh, F. Yeah, she.
Yeah, no. I know exactly why she put her in there. I think it's because she was. It was probably between either Jurina or Sakura. It was probably dependent on who went first, but like she probably wanted to see how Jurina did first to see whether she'd be an A anyways or not. And then Sakura came next. I think that's why Sakura ended up in A and not Jurina, to be honest with you. But basically, I think they're putting Sakura in A as something for, you know, all the Japanese trainees in D and F to strive to climb up to. You know?
Yeah, that's basically their lighthouse. Like that's what they're trying to achieve. And I did skip my notes on Starship. So Nate, you can.
I was gonna say Starship was episode 1.
Okay,
I was looking it up.
I had just one more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Jesus.
No, go ahead. And then I'll explain why I said that.
Anyways, another thing with Bae-yoon Jung, like she was also the one that was saying how the the Japanese trainees, they may be bad right now, but they're going to improve. Yeah. And that the Korean girls should be careful.
Yeah. No one on this show is going to come out worse off than they went coming in. So yeah. Nate.
I freaked out because Starship's evaluation performance on YouTube has 1.6 million views.
Wow. Okay, so for those that don't, like, Anyujin is, well, one, I did not realize how young she was. That's
she's 2001.
Oh my.
2 maybe.
No, she's 03.
Is she 03? No, yeah, that's right. She is 03.
She's way younger than I thought.
Yeah, she's 15.
15.
Yeah, because Starship's super young, because everyone that wasn't super young was in Cosmic Girls.
Yeah, so she's...
So
she got prior like notoriety or fame because she was in like commercials for Acuvue or something.
Yeah, she did contact lens commercials, so she got popular. But she's adorable, and she's my Kangmina of the season. I must protect her.
I mean, if anything, I thought she was like maybe she's like kind of like Kangmina, but she's kind of like the Somi in like the same age as sort of Somi. Going in?
Yeah, kind of.
I just mean, for me, she's my number 1 pick.
I mean, she's not my number 1.
Adorable.
She's almost a lock at this point. Like, Korea is in love with her.
Oh, yeah. She's...
Yeah.
For the first 3 episodes, she was number 2, so...
Yeah.
She's pretty good.
Notable omission. Alex Christine from... I forget the name of her entertainment company, but she was...
ZN Label, apparently.
ZN Label. She's American and Korean. She was on a Soompi Rising Stars, or like she was on a Soompi show or something like that, which is I guess how she got accepted for this. But yeah, they didn't cover her at all.
Well, I think she's good. I think the thing is, I think it's mostly Western fans that are like overhyping her.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah,
because she's like the only one of the only American ones, which I'm surprised that they weren't hyping up Ho Yoonjin, because she is, but they probably didn't realize it because she doesn't have a English name like Alex Christine does.
Okay, so after the evaluations, we are at 15 A ranks, 25 B ranks, 22 C ranks, 15 D ranks, and 19 F ranks. Those 19 being almost Japanese, which again was sort of you could see it coming in, but
almost Japanese,
almost all Japanese,
almost Japanese.
Okay, so
what other qualifications do they need to be Japanese?
All right. After that, they announced that the song was Nekkoya, and I knew it. There was the Japanese trainees were like, "Why are we singing about cats?" Like they made a joke about like because Nekko in Japanese means cat. So yeah, one of the trainees like made it, and also something which I think was new this season. The center of the Nekkoya performance gets an individual fan cam, so that pretty much almost guarantees you get.
But then they did like eye contact videos for literally every person in the show. So like,
not only is it eye contact videos, but like winking videos where like everyone, like there was a joke when Nekkoya first came out. It was like that's probably the record for the most people that winked all at the same time, because everyone's trying to be the next Jihu, like everyone's trying to be the next wink boy, or like Chojang, or like basically, because that's the only way you get recognized, is if they cut to you with the cameras doing something like that. So yeah, it was, again, like I mentioned before, it was an interesting twist on the training, is that like the Korean and Japanese trainees are trying to like overcome the language barrier, and there was a situation where I think it was like B, where they were all like, oh, we're all gonna go watch the video, but only the Korean trainees understood, and the Japanese trainees came over a bit too late, so they couldn't see anything. And then somebody named Kim Hyuna, not that one,
not that Kim Hyuna.
She went over to, it's crazy, like some trainee went over to teach Jurina, like the goddess of the AKB system. She was teaching her the choreography and everything. And yeah, it was interesting. Again, it was really like heartwarming that even though like the language barrier was there, they were still trying to, the Korean trainees were still trying to teach them, and then like they tried to teach them the Japanese in return and everything.
Because like the Japanese, a lot of the Japanese trainees in that group like were looking visibly like confused,
like
definitely,
like confused.
Yeah, because their choreography is so much simpler, because when you consider it, they're performing almost every week, because like you have enough members that you can sort of not perform every day, but you're performing way more than you would as a Korean, or in a Korean like group debuted. So that's probably, people have been speculating that's probably why they don't have as intense choreography, because they don't have necessarily the time to learn it, and two, they perform it a lot, so it'd be too tiring. So some of the Japanese singers had like the nasally vocal sort of thing, which I don't know if it's something that appeals to Japan necessarily, but it seems like they were trying to correct it. But like Lee Hong-gi was talking about like how you have to sing from like the stomach, or like you have to like that's why you need to be like really like in shape, basically, because you're singing from the diaphragm,
from your abs, basically.
Yeah, that's why you need.
Which none of the Japanese.
Yeah, which is why you tire out basically if you're just singing, like if you have a nasally voice while singing, because you're not getting enough air.
Well, because they're all using like their head voice instead of
exactly,
basically
their chest voice. Yep.
Yeah,
as little as we know about singing.
Yeah, and even
Hong-gi explained it in a good way.
Even the big name members like Sakura, they felt like she was talking about how she felt so much pressure because she's been an idol for 7 years, but these people that have been training for way less than she has had already so
far ahead.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they felt like that A class was very like nerve wracking. And
well, it's so strange though. Like I was completely shocked to hear that the Japanese trainees don't do any training. Like they just throw them in and say, "Hey, copy those seniors."
Yeah, because
copy your senpai.
Yeah, basically, like they just learned from their seniors. So, because I guess it's just like sort of a work ethics or just like just a different way of approaching it, where they're talking about like, oh, how people wouldn't necessarily be like teach each other like this thing. It's just like they try to learn it on their own. So it's a very interesting like thing to learn. Just like contrasting styles. So after that, they get to the reevaluations. Oh man, like some people like Hong Yeji, I think she was B class. She actually fell in like the middle of her evaluation videos. So I felt bad.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I remember Bae Yoon Jung just being like, "Oh, what a shame."
Son Eun Chae, she was one of the people in C class that was teaching everyone else the choreography. She's like, I think Bae Yoon Jung said like, all you need to do is work on your singing and you could get into rank A. And then her voice broke. I felt so bad. Let's see, like a lot of D class did good. Chiba Eddie from F class, unfortunately, she forgot the lyrics and dance, even though she's like really adorable. I think she did actually. I think she's doing well just because she's she's basically an anime character that speaks in the third person, but she has almost no skills, or just gets really nervous, unfortunately. And also another sort of change is that they had to record themselves doing both the Korean and Japanese versions of the song. So obviously some of them didn't do as well. And then you had Sakura, who did it better, like almost better in Korean than she did.
Like some of the Korean.
Yeah, or no, she was explaining how it was easier for her to learn the song in Korean than it was in Japanese.
I was actually happy to see that she put in the effort to learn the Korean version. Because a lot of people like they forgot the lyrics. Like,
a lot of the Koreans didn't sing the Japanese version.
Yeah,
they were just like humming and stuff.
Yeah, but a lot of Japanese trainees were putting like a lot of effort into learning the Korean version. So yeah, it wasn't really even in that sort of sense. And obviously they had in the middle of that they had like the annual crying in like the practice room when they call their moms.
Oh, they call their parents. Yeah.
Oh god, that always wrecks me. And then there's Jo Gahyun's mom who's just talking about how Soyu is chubby and then Kang Mina was chubby.
Yeah, there was a girl in Produce 101 China that when they called their mom, her mom just like called her fat the whole time. Like made
my god,
because she's known for being chubby or whatever.
Oh no!
I guess it's funny.
I've seen pictures of Mina when she was in Produce. She did lose a lot of weight after she.
In Produce 101, she got a bunch of comments about being fat.
No,
people are assholes.
I mean, because Mina was. How old was Mina when she was in Produce?
Like, I think like 15.
Yeah, so she kind of still has baby fat. I don't know. Like, yeah, she was still a kid when she was there, so it was understandable.
Yeah.
So yeah, once the trainers finally looked at it, just some notes that I had. Apparently, Chaeyeon was sick during the entire thing, and then she still managed to learn the choreography all on her own. So that was impressive.
Yeah, she was like 16 or 17.
Honestly, she's been impressive the entire time. I'll probably be upset if she doesn't make it.
Yeah,
even
I mean,
it looks.
Yeah. She
looks
might
like
be Samo.
She might. She's in 10th right now. So
I don't know.
I hope she stays around the lower ranks so that people get scared and rank her all the way up.
Sorry, who are we talking about again? I'm trying to figure out.
Chaeyeon.
Yeah.
Another one thing that the trainers mentioned a lot is that like even if the Japanese trainees messed up, they wouldn't like get shaken or they wouldn't stop. Whereas the Korean trainees, they'd crack under the pressure a lot. Again, like we were mentioning before, that's attributed to like their stage experience. That they might not be good as skilled or as well developed as trainees, but they know how to perform on stage. Okay, so. It ended up 9 F ranks went up because there's only one way up. 12 D ranks had their ranks adjusted. 17 B ranks had their ranks adjusted. 18 C, and then one person went from A to F, which was revealed as being Jo Yuri. Which, oh man, it's like I think Stone Music
that was
just
shocking to me because she was really good in the audition.
Just did really bad, like in general, because Yuri went from B to F. Like I don't know what happened. I mean,
must be they trained a really long time for that.
But their skills aren't
particular audition, but their actual skills aren't that good in the training room.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean that's straight up.
Or it could be they have problems with stage fright still. Like they just choked.
But I mean, you'd be surprised that Yuri having stage fright. I mean, she's performed on like M Countdown and like she's performed in like live concerts.
But I mean that's the reason she's on the show is because she's not good at learning stuff fast.
Yeah.
So she had to learn this 2 versions of a song in 3 days. She's probably not going to do very well.
All right, so at the end of episode 2, we had at number 12, we had Jurina from SKE48. 11 was Takeuchi Miyu from AKB48. Number 10, Lee Chaeyeon from WM Entertainment. Number 9, Yamada Noe from NGT, Japanese Jui. Number 8, it's Noe and Moe. Next to each other, AKB48. 7, Wang Yiren from Ueha. Toyena, also from the same company. Miyawaki Sakura dropped to 5 after episode 2, which was surprising. Number 4 is Jang Won-young from Starship. Number 3 was Kwon Eun-bi from Ulim. Number 2 was An Yu-jin. She stayed in position. And number 1, Kaon just like blew up basically. So this is where we get into the part of episode 3, and we will stop after they're filming after they're done filming Nyan. We're not going to do the first mission.
Yeah, missions.
So yeah, just some random notes I have. D to F, Choi Yeon-soo from YGK Plus. B to F, Jang Giri. B to D, Shiruma Miru from AKB48. F to C, Gota Moe. Shiba Eri stayed F. D to C, Kim Min-ju went up to C. Son and Che from Million Market, the one that she went from D. B to A, Kim Shi-hyun, the former the former individual trainee from season 1. Yujin went to A. Damin from Well Made Yadang went to A. Takahashi Juri went from B to A. Go Yujin from Blockberry, the 13th Luna girl, went from C to A. Honda Hitomi went from C to A. Yobuki Naka went from F to A, which was incredible.
Yeah, she's really good.
And
which you'll find out when we talk about their performances.
She got 9th place in the most recent Senbatsu election. So 8 trainees went up to A, and a lot of trainees went down. And Kwon and B from Willem went to C, and she was wrecked basically because she was talking about because she felt like the most responsibility, I had to get A because I'm the oldest, and then
she's the mom.
Yeah, Yamada Noe went from C to F. Oh, my heart was broken. There were only 6 A's that protected their ranking. Everyone else changed, which was incredible considering there was what was it? There were 15 at first.
15 or something.
Yeah, so a lot. There was a lot of change.
Yeah, it was pretty much. It was Gon, Miyu, Cheon. I can't think of anyone else.
It's Nagoen from RBW, Miyawaki Sakura from HKT, Kaon, Cheon, Ihaon from MNH, and Hwang Soyeon. They were the only ones that protected their ranks.
No, Miyu did drop. They just didn't show her dropping.
Miyu went from A to B,
which threw me off.
Well, I was surprised because they never showed anything from her.
Exactly. I keep thinking she's A still, but she wasn't.
It's weird that they don't show her much, but she's very high ranking.
In
and
I mean
it's I think it's because in the performance, she arranged that.
Yeah,
and
her mom's an opera singer too.
People don't see the
her mom
Japanese.
Is what?
She's an opera singer.
Oh,
people don't see the Japanese trainees as having that actual production
quality
skills or that type of thing because they're used to them more being straight idols.
Okay, so now we're almost done here. We're at the center competition, which I can't remember. I could barely remember anything from the center competition.
I don't remember anything that happened.
The only thing I remember was everyone just did Go Yujin did a sexy dance. Some of them did they changed the lyrics to the song.
Kan and Sakura changed the lyrics.
They ended up being the final 2 because they tied in votes. And then Sakura ended up being number 1 overall. And I really like that moment when Sakura just started crying, and then Kaan's just no, you deserve it. But she was saying all of it in Japanese, I'm sure that probably cemented her as just as being in that group if before she wasn't, because I mean they're probably gonna sort of position Kaon and Sakura as the rivals, or as the 1 and 2 basically. That's gonna be it's gonna be the Daniel and Daewee sort of competition like they had in season 2. So it'll be interesting. So finally they get to filming of Nekkoya, and as always, I feel bad for the F trainees when they sort of realize that they're just gonna be backup dancers.
A lot of them were upset that they were we're on the ground.
But one thing I do have to mention, I think a lot of the Japanese trainees look so much better with the Korean style of makeup. Maybe it's just a personal preference, but a lot of them look so they were transformed completely from the initial sort of how we saw them the first time, or when they did their initial evaluations. So obviously they did amazing, or they basically broke the internet with the performance where Sakura and Nekkoya and Produce 48 was trending on Naver search or whatever. And then for whatever reason it took until now for them to, or it took until after they were done filming for them to introduce Lee Sung-gi as the nation's representative.
It was really
that was
weird.
interesting.
I don't know. He doesn't show up till episode 3.
Yeah, because usually, I mean, they had because when they were introducing the trainees, it was Somi and
Daniel showed up.
Yeah, and then when they did the center competition, it was Bae Jung, and then because usually again, I don't know if it was like that in season 1, but I remember in season 2, basically it was Boa in charge of everything from the first time.
Yeah, well, in season 1, Jacob, you gotta help me. I never remember his name. Jang
Gun-suk.
Yeah, Gun-suk, yeah. He was doing the evaluations with them. Like, he evaluated everyone.
Yeah, same thing with Boa.
Like,
so that,
Boa did too. Yeah,
exactly.
It was interesting.
So,
it was interesting that he didn't get to vote.
He must have just been busy or something.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I wonder if he just had a schedule that day or something.
Yeah, he just
maybe
had like a concert or something.
Yeah, probably. That'd probably explain it. Because there's no reason for him not to. He's a singer, so there's no reason for him to not be able to evaluate the trainees. But and then at that point he mentioned that like some of the Japanese trainees dropped out at that. I don't know. I think either some of them felt homesick.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine just like how crazy it must be for some of them. For you're in a completely different country trying to learn a completely different language and trying to perform and like. And not doing that well, it must have been rough on them. When I don't blame them for just going back home to Japan, basically.
I mean, every season someone's dropped out by the time the song's being recorded. Anyway, I know like 3 or 4 were dropped out of season 1 before Pick Me even got recorded.
But yeah, that is all we're gonna cover on this episode of ProduceCast. The next episode we will cover the first mission, and then the first elimination. Yeah. I believe they're literally filming the first elimination as we speak, because the Japanese trainees were flying back to. We're filming this on the 9th of July. They were flying back this morning, so that means that they're filming it very soon. So
yeah, cool. I mean, yeah, that makes sense because it airs on Friday. So
yeah, because usually the 5th episode is the first evaluation, so that means
first elimination.
Elimination. So that means the episode 5 will go up this week. Subs for episode. Hopefully they'll be out really soon. Speaking of, I want to give a plug to Produce 48 subs, PD40 at PD48 subs on Twitter. They are super. They're super fast.
Yeah. They're also easily the best subs.
They're fast and very thorough.
Really thorough. Yeah.
Yep. They actually sub all the texts and everything.
They sub,
and they even match fonts and stuff usually, and colors.
I know they sub the lyrics of the songs.
Yeah, yep.
I was because in season 2 we didn't get that, so they must have a huge translation. Like I'm looking at their thing right now. They have a lot of translation, like translators and typesetters and timers. That's usually the hardest part. Just getting it all set up.
Doing this season's even harder because you have 2 different languages.
Well, I mean they have the Korean. Whenever Japanese.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. They show the Hangul subs.
Ideally, you'd want somebody that would understand Japanese, so you could translate
English,
it immediately,
so they can translate it better into English too. Because then sometimes you get that whole weird thing where you chain translate and just stuff gets lost. And weird. It's like the telephone game.
All right, so episodes 1 to 3, closing thoughts, guys. I'll start with Jacob.
So far, I'm actually really liking it. I'm actually this season. I think I'm enjoying more than last year. Actually, it might just be because it's girls and I like that better.
Yeah. But I still gotta get you season 1.
I'm finding the episodes a lot less boring, I guess. So.
I think definitely. It's definitely because of the.
And don't misinterpret me either, because I liked last season, but I just I found it very hard to get through all the episodes because I kind of have a short attention span. So yeah,
I think definitely it was probably good. It was a good move for them to incorporate the AKB system because that totally changed. Like I heard that it refreshed the concept of it. It would have gotten tired after 3 seasons of the same thing. So Nate, final thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Season 1, obviously a huge fan. So I had high hopes. I think it's living up to them, and China as well. China was really good, which we'll talk about in a different episode. But yeah, I think it's living up to season 1. I like the dynamics between the Korean and Japanese girls. I think adds an interesting twist to it that it's not so, and it could very easily be portrayed very negatively, where they just hate each other. And it's the opposite of that. And
I'm glad
it's
not.
Happy.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not just like xenophobia or just
exactly.
That was my worst fear when it came to go in, because for those that don't know, Korea and Japan have had very tenuous
lots of animosity.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Kind of just
I mean, there's kind of just guys Japan setting themselves on fire.
Yeah. So I'm glad. I think that's the one thing I love about this is just that it really just goes to show that basically music is the great unifier, even though they have cultural differences, even though they don't speak the same language. Just that like they're able to unify through music. And before I forget, we forgot to mention about the news with Jordina that literally came out a couple of days ago. Due to her health condition, she has to drop out of Produce 48 and is going on hiatus from all SKE 48 and AKB 48 activities, which is a huge shame because
it sucks because I feel like she definitely would have made it into the group.
Oh, she would have made it in so bad, like easily, because she's super popular, and I feel like she's definitely one of the most talented of the trainees that they sent over. And again, the big like the thing that breaks my heart the most is it took her so long to win the general Senbatsu election, and when she finally does, she can't. They performed the single without her, and like they performed the single live for the first time, and they just left her trophy like in the front just to remember her by, and that broke my heart basically. They kind of treated it.
It's like a weird memorial.
Yeah, like they had a slow mo.
Like she's not dead.
Yeah, no, like they had a slow mo thing of her, like a clip of her that they inserted in the song. I'm just like, she's not dead, guys. She's just
like, sick. Like she'll be back.
Like she's like a workaholic type, so it was understandable because working in basically like SKE, AKB, plus like this, plus
having to fly to Korea
plus doing she did a wrestling show last year and everything, so she's super active. Like so it was only a matter of time before it took a toll on the toll was too much, and it sucks, but I'm glad that at least she got to show herself a bit, and she's definitely gained me as a huge fan. And I hope that we all wish her the best in her recovery, and I can't wait for her to come back and finally take her spot as a center. I hope they give her another shot. So yeah, I think that wraps it up for this episode of ProduceCast. Like, share, subscribe. Definitely, again, if there's anything we missed or anything you want to discuss, leave it in the comments. And yeah, just always just like definitely, if there's anything that we don't know as much, please educate us, because I want to learn so much about AKB. I want to be immersed into this like completely different world that I've just only been like a third party observer to. So yeah, definitely if you're a J-pop fan, you're welcome here, and just definitely like please talk to us so that we can learn more. So yeah, how are we gonna end this show? We can't wrap it up with steak.
No.
How are we gonna end it?
I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Arigato gozaimasu. Ohio.
No. What was it? What was it?
Mucho lit.
Like Annyeong Haseo des or whatever. What did Noe say? Or Kamsahamnida des or something. What did she say that? She said something in Korean and then ended it with des.
Well, whatever it is,
I don't remember what
I could just say oyasumi, which means good night in Japanese, and
ciao
good night.
ciao.
The reason why they're doing this, I believe, is, I mean, I'm not as, for any AKB fans or any like NMB or whatever other group fans, I'm not as knowledgeable about like the inner workings, but from my understanding, AKB's kind of past their golden age, because for those K-pop fans that don't know, they have a graduation system.